I'll set this up here.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Vaughn from Hempagoda. I'm pretty excited today to introduce you to our young cannabis company, Hempagoda, and our highly experienced partner for our water-soluble solution, which is Source Technology, which is one of the leading water-soluble technologies in the world, who we've been so fortunate to meet and to find common ground and to decide to bring this technology to Thailand together. So Hempagoda, there's a few different sides to our business. We have a farm in Wang Noi, which our farm in Wang Noi is about 12,000 metre indoor growing facility where we plan to grow premium cannabis flower, which will be, we should be in production in about 6 months. So we're busy working on development of the warehouse with our partners, Sustanza, who we're fortunate to have here today. We've got that, and also we're doing for a product, we've got a project in Kalkor, a grower project, which we're very excited to work with Thai growers. And Somchai and crew team are here, so thanks very much for coming. And it's really a pleasure to work with you and try to grow the Thai cannabis with the Thai growers. So excited about that. We also have a facility in Rang Sit that we plan to do our extraction. From extraction to produce our water-soluble products. So that's building the source laboratory and facility that will convert the cannabinoid, the THC or CBD oils into a water-soluble product, which was probably the first thing that I realised was going to be one of the most important parts to be successful. I just remember when we started the business. We got some THC, some CBD oil, and the first thing we did was I put it in a coffee, and it floated at the top, and it didn't taste good. I said, okay, that's a problem. So I started Googling how are we going to put this product into something exciting, something people are going to want to get on an aeroplane and fly to Thailand to enjoy. With the tinctures and all this initial stuff, it wasn't exciting enough. So it was how are we going to create new and exciting products, for Thailand? We're going to need a water-soluble solution, and that led me on the journey to find, the Vice President here, Tim, and Howard, who's also here, and one of the chief scientists, Michael. It's a pleasure to have you all here. I think we're all very honoured to have you here because your success speaks for itself in America, and for all of the Thailand, it's very exciting to have them here, because what they will do is they will empower small business, medium-sized business, and large business, not just one set of people. We will be able to provide an ingredient that is available to all businesses and allow them to have a crack. To the entrepreneurs of Thailand, all the business owners will be able to integrate cannabis into whatever products they have, and I think it's equally beneficial to the whole landscape, which is really exciting to me. So yeah, without further ado, because we're on limited time, I'd like to introduce you to Tim from Source Tech, Tim O'Neill from Source Tech, and he can introduce you all to the product that we have, the technology that we have, and I hope to meet you all after the show, and I hope you can see where we are, what we're looking for, and approach us and find ways to work together to basically create new and exciting products for Thailand, integrating cannabis. Thank you very much, and here is Tim.
Thanks, Vaughn, for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vaughn, for that kind introduction. So I'll give a quick overview of Source Technology. We are based in Seattle, Washington, the United States. I'm Vice President of International Markets, and I'm based in London, England. Source Technology, at its core, is a method for making hard-to-work-with oil-based food ingredients into water-soluble emulsions that can be integrated then into food and beverage. We're the #1 CBD emulsion in the world, and we power the first and second best-selling THC beverages in the US, and at any one time, the majority of the top 10 best-selling CBD beverages in the US market. We're active all over the world, active in the Canadian market, European, now the Southeast Asian markets. And for any of you that are following the international cannabis movement or market, shall we say, it's becoming very clear that cannabis, in order to ensure success, is no different than any other CPG. You know, you have to embrace the fundamentals of CPG in order to develop successful cannabis brands. And so, whilst our talk today is about how to integrate cannabis into CPG, it's as much talking about how to treat cannabis as a normal CPG ingredient and CPG products and brands as it is on the exact methodology on how we integrate it. Clearly, there's not a huge amount of time to tell you exactly how to do this, but if you have any questions, we probably won't have time at the end, but you will not miss our booth. It's half of the hall in there. So, CPG meets CBD. If you want to develop a CBD brand and it's going to stand out and succeed within the market, very few brands, and I would argue there are no brands in the Thai market that have established any kind of brand loyalty and notoriety in the space across all brand categories. And when I talk about brand categories for CBD, we're talking about beverages, food, nutraceuticals, topicals, cosmetics. And having an innovative product offering is half the battle. Brands also need strong foundation with established suppliers and strategic partners like Source to enter this new and really constantly evolving industry and learning the lessons of where people have tried to do it before. So before your product shines on the shelf and is something that the consumer wants to buy, you need to have the right tools. And so what do we mean by that? We mean the right equipment, the right ingredients, and putting together the right team of specialists. And the first stage that you're going to hit is formulation. How do you build that product? And ingredients for that producer, for that product developer, need to be effective, enjoyable, and a consistent experience for the consumer.
Can you show the presentation in the slides?
Pardon?
As well?
No, unfortunately not. If you have, like I say, if you have any specific questions, please feel free to come over. My idea to spare everyone another death by PowerPoint has obviously backfired in this case, but no, please do. If any questions, just come to me afterwards. Okay, so seems simple enough. Actually, there's much more to it, clearly. Consumers are more educated now than ever, and with cannabis being established product across the world, people know which questions they want to ask about where their cannabis has come from. So where did it come from? Where was it grown? How has it been treated? What was the extraction method that was used? This is something that consumers understand. They would like to know or need to know about the cannabis they're consuming. And when it comes to CPG and the products that I mentioned earlier, things like beverages, one of the most important ones is how long is it shelf stable? Once you integrate it into a product, how long can that product stay on the shelf? How does it need to be treated? Will the CBD that's there on day one still be there 6 months later, a year later? And will it still be homogenous in the product? And when you're talking about THC products, specifically THC beverages, if you've lost homogeneity, the consumer experience could potentially be very negative if they're getting more THC than they thought or no THC at all. So more recently, production and dietary trends have impacted the food manufacturing industry. And for the purposes of this discussion, I'm talking about cannabis now as a food, being treated as a food. So when choosing your ingredients and choosing your CBD, whilst you have to consider things like growth, where it's been extracted, cultivated, that sort of thing, you then need to take into account things like allergens. Has it been produced in an allergen-free environment? Is it non-GMO? Has it been certified kosher? There are a number of food processing facilities around the world that will not accept an ingredient if it hasn't been certified kosher, especially in the United States. Is it clean label? Does it have GRAS status? Is it non-detectable for THC? What is the definition of non-detectable in the market you wish to enter? That is very different in the US market to the Canadian market to the Thai market, for instance. And so these definitions and mutual understanding between you and the consumer are very important. And then meeting potency requirements. You know, is the product that you're providing the exact potency that the product developer wants to deliver the exact amount of CBD or THC that they want to deliver to their consumer? And is it the same every time? every time you deliver your product, is it the same potency, so they haven't got to change the manufacturing process every single run. Okay, so I'd like to introduce this concept of suppliers for scalability. One of the initial conversations that we had with Vaughn was about, can we ensure the security of the supply chain once, for instance, Hempagoda manufactures source in Thailand? If you start talking to major CPGs, they're going to want to know that if they order a certain volume 1 month, that it'll be available 3 months later, a larger amount 3 months after that. Because if you become the most unreliable element of their supply chain, there's an inherent risk there for the consumer, and it just helps build trust with those large-scale CPGs. So suppliers for scalability means establishing strategic partners that can provide quality ingredients and products at scale to get product on shelves, to grow the business quickly, efficiently, and cost-effectively. And when evaluating the supply chain, there are 4 main areas of focus. Do they offer the stability that you require? Do they have the GMP standards that the cannabis industry requires and the food industry requires? Do they do the appropriate testing to make sure that the product they're providing is what it's stated to be? And can they scale rapidly? Are they able to scale geographically in the same way that you aspire to? Are they able to scale with volume in the way that you may aspire to? So the key standards to conform with when we talk about CBD. So there's the Food Safety Modernization Act in the US. There's good manufacturing practices, as discussed. Does it need to be EU GMP if you're talking about working in the medical and pharma space? What are the decarb standards? Does it comply with Prop 65? Testing standards and documentation. So do you need to supply a vendor questionnaire to your supplier? Has it been completed? Do they provide certificates of analysis done by a third party that tally with their own in-house testing and the standards that you need? So the next stage is contract manufacturing or co-mans, packaging and distribution. So once the ingredients and formulations are ready, then essentially the professionals, the co-mans, the packagers, the distributors take over, and you become reliant on them to scale your business. There's no need to recreate the wheel. There are plenty of people in most markets with experience of working in food and beverage, contract manufacturing, and distribution. And cannabis, for all of its complexities, should be no different once the regulatory hurdles have been worked out with those third parties. And then it's all about distribution. Supply chain strategic partners directly impact the quality and consistency of a finished product. How has it been handled? Has it been stored in accordance with the handling instructions, the right temperature, the right place? Has it been left on a loading dock for a couple of weeks before it's actually been sent to the point of sale? Things like that. And that's all where having a reliable distribution partner comes in. But the bottom line is nothing else matters if the consumer cannot purchase the product, and therefore distribution is one of the key stages. So, to summarize what I'm trying to say, what I would leave you with is probably 5 key points. It's all about having the right concept that's consumer-centric and based on what the consumer actually wants to buy, and segmented by each of the different consumers that you want to try and target. It's all about having the right formulation with the right ingredients, the right inputs. It's all about finding the right suppliers. What goes into that formulation? It doesn't have to be just in the cannabis element of that formulation. Are the ingredient suppliers as reliable as your cannabis input supplier? Do their ingredients interact negatively, for instance, with CBD or THC? You've then got to find the right manufacturers and strategic partners, and then the right distribution. And what I would say is, by happy coincidence, the Hempagoda Source partnership here in Thailand is actually a really good example of that vertical integration of cultivation through extraction, and then finding the right partners to work together. And Source is able to provide, with Hempagoda, of course, a lot of the advice, formulation advice, product development advice that you would need to launch a cannabis finished product in the Thai market. Now, there may be questions, there may not. We haven't got much time left. Vaughn to wrap up.
Thanks so much, Tim. Thanks, very informative. Just to give you a little bit of exciting, something to juicy, go and jump on your iPhones and have a look. I'll give you a couple of the exciting products that come from source, and you can just check them out yourselves. That'll get your juices flowing about, get you in the right headspace about what we have. So I would suggest you take a look at Mad Tasty CBD beverages. I would suggest you take a look at Can Drinks, CANN drinks. Mad Tasty is a CBD beverage. Can is a TH 2 milligram THC 4 milligram CBD beverage, which is going along a new trend of sort of social drinking. Have a look at that. Another product that you might be interested in might be Rip and Sip. Rip and Sip is a plug and play sachet that you can put into any beverage. Have a look at those. That'll give you an idea of what's possible, and use your imaginations and come back with some ideas about things you might like to do, or any questions. We're open for business. Thank you.